Everyone's buzzing about Tesla's so-called next big battery, but let's clear the fog. In July, LG Energy Solution quietly signed a massive $4.3 billion contract to supply Tesla with LFP cells. Sounds huge, right? The catch? These batteries aren't headed for your Model Y. They're locked in for Tesla's energy storage systems. Think Megapacks and Powerwalls, not cars. And here's the twist. Shipments don't even start until 2027. But that's not all. Tesla has already unveiled two new storage products this year. The first is the Megablock, a 20 megawatt-hour monster built by linking 4 Megapacks with integrated gear. The second is the Megapack 3, redesigned to simplify cooling and slash failure points. Both will roll out from Tesla's new Texas facilities starting late 2026. Why does this matter? Because while EV demand has cooled in some markets, Tesla's energy business is booming, and these new storage units could become Tesla's secret profit engine. Still, challenges loom. US tariffs on Chinese battery parts, safety recalls like the Powerwall 2 fires in Australia, and even visa crackdowns affecting workers at LG's US sites. So the truth is simple. Tesla isn't slipping mystery super LFP packs into cars today, it's building a bigger energy empire for tomorrow. But if these batteries aren't powering cars, where does that leave the rumors about a 50% jump in energy density? That's where things start to unravel. One of the loudest headlines flying around is that Tesla's next LFP batteries will pack 50% more energy density. Sounds incredible. Almost too good to be true, and that's because it is. In reality, no filing, no official announcement, and no trusted outlet ever mentioned a 50% leap. That number comes from a swirl of speculation about experimental chemistries like LMFP and M3P, which add manganese or other tweaks to standard LFP. Here's the truth. Those next-gen variations can bump density by around 15 to 20% in theory, not 50. And Tesla's current cars that use LFP, like certain Model 3 and Model Y variants, already max out their pack design within today's chemistry. So even if Tesla were ready to adopt LMFP or M3P tomorrow, drivers wouldn't wake up to a dramatic 50% increase in range overnight. What this hype actually does is distract from the real play. Tesla doesn't need a magic 50% jump to win. LFP already gives them what matters most: low cost, long cycle life, and rock-solid safety. That's why it's perfect for megapacks and entry-level cars. So next time you hear 50% better batteries, remember, it's not about impossible leaps. It's about steady, scalable improvements that keep Tesla's business growing. But if Tesla's batteries aren't getting that kind of dramatic boost, what exactly is changing between now and 2027? The real transformation happens behind the scenes, in supply chains and factories. Tesla's $4.3 billion deal with LG Energy Solution kicks in starting August 2027, running through 2030. That timing isn't random. By then, new US battery plants will be fully online, pumping out LFP cells locally instead of relying on imports from China. Why is that such a big deal? Two words: tariffs and control. Right now, US tariffs on Chinese-made battery parts are rising, squeezing profits and slowing deployment. By shifting to US-made cells, Tesla shields itself from those costs and builds a safer, more independent supply chain. It's about future-proofing, not just making the next flashy EV. On top of that, these US plants open doors for expansion into Tesla's fastest-growing segment: energy storage. Remember, Megapack sold out almost instantly last year, and grid operators worldwide are desperate for reliable storage to back up renewables. By 2027, Tesla could be leading the global energy storage race, not just selling cars, but selling the infrastructure that powers entire cities. So while fans argue about a Model 2 or mystery cells in cars, the bigger move is Tesla positioning itself as a battery infrastructure giant. And that's a storyline Wall Street is watching very closely. But what makes LFP so perfect for this role? And why has Tesla leaned so heavily on it compared to other chemistries? To understand why Tesla is betting billions on this chemistry, you have to know what LFP actually is. LFP stands for lithium iron phosphate, a chemistry that trades headline-grabbing range for something even more valuable: stability, safety, and affordability. Unlike nickel-based batteries, LFP cells don't rely on expensive metals like cobalt. That makes them cheaper to produce, less tied to volatile mining markets, and a lot friendlier to supply chains. They're also tougher, able to handle thousands of charge cycles with less degradation. For energy storage systems like Megapacks, that means 20+ years of reliable service with fewer replacements. Safety is another huge win. LFP is more resistant to overheating and thermal runaway. In simple terms, it's harder for these batteries to ignite a flame, which is why Tesla uses them in entry-level Model 3s and Ys in some markets, and now leans on them for massive grid projects. The trade-off, of course, is energy density. LFP packs don't store as much juice pound for pound as nickel-manganese cobalt cells. That's why Tesla still uses high-nickel chemistries in long-range performance cars. But for stationary storage and cost-focused EVs, LFP is the perfect fit. So when you hear about Tesla's multi-billion-dollar LFP deals, think less about sports cars rocketing down highways, and more about the quiet, steady heartbeat of Tesla's global energy ambitions. But if LFP is so solid, then why do we keep hearing about new chemistries like LMFP, M3P, or even sodium ion? Simple. Everyone's chasing that sweet spot of higher density without losing cost or safety. First up, LMFP. That's lithium manganese iron phosphate. By blending in manganese, you can squeeze out roughly 15 to 20% more energy density compared to standard LFP. It's a real improvement, but nowhere near the 50% miracle headlines some videos push. Then there's M3P, a variation pioneered in China that tweaks the formula further. Again, we're talking incremental gains, not a revolution. Now, the real wild card is sodium ion. Sodium is cheaper and more abundant than lithium, which makes it attractive for stationary storage and low-cost EVs. But here's the catch. Sodium ion packs don't yet match lithium batteries in energy density, so they won't power long-range cars anytime soon. Where they shine is grid storage and affordable mobility in emerging markets. Tesla hasn't announced sodium ion plans, but Chinese competitors are already ramping up production for late 2025. So when people throw around futuristic chemistry names, keep this in mind. These are evolutionary steps, not quantum leaps. For Tesla, the big win isn't about chasing exotic lab cells. It's about locking in stable, affordable chemistries at scale. But chemistry isn't the only piece of the puzzle. By 2027, Tesla's US factories will be cranking out these batteries on home turf. So what does that shift mean for costs, politics, and Tesla's bottom line? Here's the part most people miss. This isn't just about batteries, it's about control of the supply chain. Right now, much of the world's LFP production sits in China, and the US has been slapping tariffs on imported battery parts. That means if Tesla kept relying on China, costs would climb and profits would shrink. And here's where the math gets interesting. Tesla's Megapack business has already been growing faster than some parts of its car division. Local cell production means fewer shipping delays, more predictable costs, and eligibility for US clean energy incentives. That's money Tesla keeps in its own pocket instead of paying in tariffs or overseas premiums. But what does this all mean for Tesla customers, the people actually buying cars and batteries? For energy customers, utilities, businesses, even homeowners with Powerwalls, the story is about local LFP production, and that means more supply, fewer delays, and lower costs over time. Tesla's energy division could quietly become the company's biggest growth engine, even if most people never see a Megapack in person. But stability doesn't stop the rumors. In fact, some of the wildest claims involve aluminum-ion and other miracle batteries. So when you hear Tesla's new aluminum battery is coming, that's not fact, it's hype. The real story is Tesla doubling down on LFP and energy storage while watching how other chemistries mature. But if the miracle cells aren't ready, where does that leave Tesla's future battery roadmap? By 2027, US-made LFP cells will anchor Tesla's energy business, while small gains from LMFP or M3P could quietly boost efficiency. Sodium-ion may enter the mix later, especially for storage or lower-cost vehicles, but don't expect it in your Model S anytime soon. In short, the future isn't one giant leap. It's a series of steady steps that keep Tesla ahead of competitors without overpromising. That's the roadmap Tesla is really following. Tesla's latest battery deal isn't about flashy cars. It's about building an energy empire. The hype may grab clicks, but the truth is even bigger. Steady growth, smarter supply chains, and a future powered by Megapacks. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit subscribe, tap the bell, and stay tuned for the real stories behind the headlines. And as always, drive safe.